If some APC senators had not been denied senatorial tickets, they would probably not have insisted on a mandatory electronic transfer of election results. These senators, who were reportedly denied tickets by the All Progressives Congress, APC, to contest for another term in the National Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, are now supporting a mandatory electronic transfer of election results. In my opinion, many of them might not have taken this position if they had secured tickets to return to the Senate. Honestly, part of Nigeria's problems stem from lawmakers who fail to do what is right and beneficial for the people. It is unfortunate when those whom Nigerians look up to as leaders are perceived to be contributing to the country's challenges rather than helping to solve them. We remain hopeful that one day a credible leader will be elected president of Nigeria. When that happens, many Nigerians believe the country will have an opportunity to recover from years of missed opportunities and move toward a better future. How can insecurity end in Nigeria when General Christopher Musa and retired General Buratai are reportedly asking Nigerians to re-elect President Bola Tinubu in 2027? It is quite unfortunate and surprising to hear reports that retired Army General Tukur Buratai has stated that insecurity under the APC and President Bola Tinubu's administration is at its lowest level since the president assumed office in 2023. Somehow, many Nigerians may find such a statement difficult to accept given the ongoing security challenges being reported across different parts of the country. The same concerns apply to General Christopher Musa, who has reportedly urged Nigerians to allow President Bola Tinubu to continue in office beyond 2027, arguing that the administration's reforms will eventually benefit the country. Many Nigerians expected security leaders and officials to focus primarily on addressing the nation's security challenges. The worsening insecurity experienced in several parts of the country remains one of the biggest concerns facing Nigerians today. Since President Bola Tinubu assumed office, many citizens believe insecurity has increased significantly in several regions. For this reason, we call on General Christopher Musa and retired General Buratai to carefully examine the security situation across the country before making statements encouraging Nigerians to support another term for the current administration. Ultimately, it is the Nigerian people who will decide through the democratic process whether they are satisfied with the government's performance and whether they wish to renew its mandate in 2027. The terrorists and bandits in Nigeria crossed the red line the moment they abducted school children and beheaded a school teacher in Oyo State, Nigeria. The beheading of a school teacher and the abduction of innocent school children and their teachers in Oyo State should serve as a wake-up call for the nation. The APC and President Bola Tinubu's government have failed to adequately secure the lives and property of Nigerians, which many citizens may consider a reason to seek political change in the next presidential election. Human beings should live safely in towns and villages. Therefore, the Oyo State government and vigilante groups should move swiftly to secure forests within the state. Forests should not be allowed to serve as safe havens for terrorists and bandits who use them to hide kidnapped victims and evade security forces. This wickedness must stop immediately. We also use this opportunity to appeal to both the current and future governments to make security their #1 priority. If the lives of Nigerians are not protected, government institutions cannot function effectively, and national development will continue to suffer. As Nigeria moves toward the 2027 elections, citizens will ultimately decide through the democratic process who should lead the country and which policies they believe will best address the nation's security challenges. A political campaign billboard fee for presidential and other elective positions has allegedly been introduced in Anambra State by Governor Charles Soludo and his administration. It was revealed to a Viewers Corner news correspondent in Awka, the capital of Anambra State, that Governor Charles Soludo and his government have allegedly introduced fees for political campaign billboards relating to presidential, senatorial, and other elective positions. According to some Nigerians, this development is unusual and has generated debate among political stakeholders and members of the public. Some critics claim that such charges could place an additional financial burden on political parties and candidates seeking to campaign within the state. Reports indicate that the fees attached to certain categories of political campaign billboards run into millions of naira. This has attracted criticism from some residents and political observers who believe that campaign activities should remain accessible to all candidates regardless of their financial strength. Some individuals in Anambra State have also alleged that the policy could indirectly affect supporters of Mr. Peter Obi, who is widely regarded by his supporters as a popular political figure ahead of the 2027 elections. These critics argue that the introduction of such fees may make political campaigning more difficult for some candidates and their supporters. Others have gone further to suggest that the move reflects a political alignment with President Bola Tinubu and the ruling party, although no official evidence has been presented to support this claim. Supporters of Governor Soludo, on the other hand, may argue that any such policy falls within the state's regulatory powers and is not directed at any particular candidate or political party. The development has continued to generate discussion among political observers, with many Nigerians calling for greater clarification on the purpose, implementation, and implications of the alleged billboard fees as preparations for the 2027 elections gradually intensify.